Hey everyone, welcome back to another Pickups episode. I just got back from the London gaming market and this is probably the best haul I've ever got from the show, and it was a really great event as well. Let's start off with two games for the Sega Master System that I've been looking for a long time, and I've finally had the money and actually found them both in amazing, almost immaculate condition. First of all, we have the original Phantasy Star, and I'm a massive fan of the rest of the Phantasy Star series. I absolutely love number 2, and I really need to get all the way through number 4 as well, but I've got the original right here, so now I have the entire quadrilogy, and I'm definitely planning on checking this one out. I have played it a bit before. I played it on this here, the Phantasy Star Collection on the Game Boy Advance, but I never really got that far, and I always wanted to experience it in its original form, so really looking forward to checking this out. And I've also heard that the Switch port is really good as well. It's got a lot of modern enhancements, but I'm going to try and play through the original first, but maybe if I end up getting stuck in some of the dungeons, then I'll check out the newer version. And the other game for the Master System that I was equally as excited to find was Ys the Vanished Omens, and I'm a massive fan of the Ys series, and I have actually played all the way through Ys 1 before, but not in its Master System form. I've actually played it through on the PC Engine or the TurboGrafx CD as it is here, and it's such an amazing game, and I would love to try and check out a few other versions of it, so really happy to add the Master System version to the collection, and I'm really curious to see how this one plays compared to all of the other versions that I've played in the past too. And to go along with those two Master System games, I actually just got myself a modded Master System Model 2, and this actually allows it to output in RGB. So instead of the standard RF out on the back, it's actually now got a Mega Drive Model 2 style SCART plug instead. But unfortunately, the SCART that I've got for it at the moment doesn't actually work, so I've ordered a new one, and hopefully that will work, and then I can actually try streaming some of these games using the actual hardware, so I'm really excited about that. But it might have to wait a little while for that to turn up, and hopefully the plug that I've got is good as well, because I just bought the system on its own, and I've plugged it into the TV and I can get sound but no actual video out of it, so almost there with that, and then I can check out those two games, and I'm so excited for that. The next game I picked up at the show was for the Game Boy Advance, and this is Mega Man Battle Network 4 Blue Moon, and with this I actually only have one more Mega Man Battle Network game to get for the Game Boy Advance, and that is number 5, which I already own on the DS, but I would really love to get the GBA versions as well. So basically this completes my collection as far as being able to play the series, and I can play the entire series on their original systems more or less. So really happy to have this, love the Battle Network series. Maybe in the future I'll do a video about the entire series. There's a lot to get through, and the first game isn't really that great, but all the rest of the games I think are absolutely amazing. It's one of my favourite RPG series of all time, and I really love the Star Force games as well, and it's great that Capcom's bringing out that Star Force collection. Really looking forward to checking that out as well, because I've never played Star Force 3 before. So anyway, another game to add to the Mega Man collection. I would love to do a massive video in the future about all of my favourite Mega Man games as well, because there are a lot, and it's just a series that I really enjoy, and I would love to share my love for the series here on YouTube too, so look forward to that somewhere in the far future. Another GBA game next, and this is Final Fantasy VI, and not only did I want this just because Final Fantasy VI is a great game, and I didn't officially own the Game Boy Advance version, so really happy to have that for one thing. I kind of owned the GBA version actually. Let me go and find something and show you. So I owned the GBA version in this form. This is the Final Fantasy VI Sound Restoration version, which was actually a fan ROM hack of Final Fantasy VI that's changed the music from the kind of tinny Game Boy Advance soundtrack back into more of what the original Super Nintendo soundtrack was, which is really cool. And now I don't feel so bad playing this version now that I actually own the original physically, but the main reason I wanted this is actually surprisingly for my Quintet documentary series, because a lot of people don't know this, and this is something that I'm going to cover in that documentary at some point in the future. I know I've said that for like 10 plus years at this point, but it is coming. Trust me, I am still working on it. Anyway, Quintet actually worked on the sound drivers for a bunch of different Game Boy Advance games, and this was actually one of the very last games that they ever had any involvement with, so really cool to have it from that historical point of view as well. And it's pretty cool to see that this Game Boy Advance game actually came out in 2007, which was 3 years after the launch of the DS, which well, 4 years actually. The DS came out in 2004, didn't it? So yeah, almost 4 years, I guess, depending on when this came out in 2007. That's just crazy, and no wonder it's one of the more expensive games for the system. And yeah, really cool. Can't wait to check that out, but if I am going to play it, I'll probably play this version. And going along with Final Fantasy, I also finally picked this up. This is the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection for the Nintendo Switch, and I'll be completely honest, I am kind of disappointed. I honestly thought it would look a lot nicer than it does. So I put this in the Switch, well, the Switch 2, and maybe it's just because of the size of the screen, but it really looks kind of blurry and it's all stretched out and the font's really weird. So I wasn't really that sold on my first impressions of it, but maybe I'll get used to it over time. And there are some games in this collection that I've never played before, and I thought this would be a really great way of playing them. Let me know your opinions on the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection down in the comments below, and let me know whether I should try and experience them this way, or experience them on the Game Boy Advance, or maybe in their original format on the NES and the Super Nintendo. Let me know down in the comments what you guys recommend. Next is a game for the GameCube, and I also got this one for part of the Quintet documentary as well, and not specifically for the GameCube version, but the Game Boy Advance one they worked on, but it does link to the GameCube one, so I wanted to get that as well for part of the video, and I do also own the PAL version of this game as well, so now I have both versions to use in that video, so really happy to be able to find this one at the market, and this was quite cheap as well, so unlike all of the other ones. Next is a game that I was very excited to pick up for the PlayStation 2, and I played this one a lot last night and I really enjoyed it. This is Thunder Force 6, and I only need Thunder Force 1 and 5, and then I've got all of the games in the Thunder Force series as well, and I picked this one up and I'm trying to complete the series because I would love to do a retrospective on this series of games because it's one of my favourite collections of shoot-em-ups of all time, and I was really impressed with what I played of number 6. It's got some really cool power-ups and I really enjoyed the music and the gameplay as well, so definitely expect to see more of this game on the channel in the future. Really enjoyed my time with this one so far. Next is a game for the PlayStation 1 that I was really excited to find. This is Silhouette Mirage by Treasure, and again I picked this one up for a future retrospective video that I want to do, and again I am so impressed by this game and I had great fun playing it the other night. It's a really unique platforming kind of action game where, depending on which direction you're facing, you can actually either hurt the enemies or reduce your own stats. It's a very strange concept, but it actually works really well, and you're constantly trying to figure out like what side of the screen you should be on to attack the different coloured enemies. It's very Treasure, and you can see that they also made things like Ikaruga, which also had that kind of colour swapping mechanic. Really unique game. It also has like that essence of Mischief Maker with the weird and wacky cutscenes and visuals. Really great game all around, and I'm so happy to finally own a physical copy because this is a game that's eluded me for a long time as well. So the next game is a really fun one. This is Pokemon Tetris Mini, and I'm trying to get a full set of Pokemon mini games as well, and I didn't have the Japanese version of Pokemon Tetris Mini here. This one's really interesting because not only is it just a basic Tetris game, but you can actually catch the Pokemon as you're playing Tetris. So I'm really curious to actually play this one. I couldn't find my Pokemon Mini, I don't know where it's gone, but even so, really happy to add this game to the collection, and I'll definitely check it out at some point. And like I've said about all of these games, they're actually all bought for this channel, so expect a video on the Pokemon Mini and some of its more interesting games in the future as well. And it does have a really interesting game library, so hopefully you're looking forward to checking those out with me. I actually grew up with the Pokemon Mini and I have some really fond memories of it too, so definitely looking forward to talking more about Pokemon Mini in the future. It really was a very underappreciated console back in the day, and I really do love it. And the next two games are two games for the Nintendo Wii. Been really looking forward to checking both of these out, so let's start with Excitebot's Trick Racing, and a lot of people have told me this game is absolutely incredible. I'm a massive fan of Excite Truck, which came out right at the launch of the Wii here in the UK, but we never actually got the sequel, so this is actually an American copy of the game, and I've got a hacked Wii, so it was okay, I could still play it, and I've been playing it a bit, and oh my god, why did we not get this here in the UK? This is one of the best and most fun and exciting racing games that I've ever played. Honestly, it really upsets me still to this day that we never got this game, and I've finally been able to find out for myself why people hold this game in such high regard. It really is incredible, and maybe I'll stream it at some point in the future. I've been thinking about doing that with some of my favourite Wii games, and now this one's actually right at the top of my favourite Wii games list, and I only just got around to playing it. It is honestly incredible. And this next one I haven't actually had a chance to play yet, but I thought I would get it while I found it for a reasonable price, because I do feel like this one's going to go up in price soon. This is Project Zero 2 Wii Edition, and this is a remake of the original game that came out in 2003, I think, for the PlayStation 2. This one's got much improved graphics and obviously the gameplay with the Wii Remote using it as the camera. Seems really cool. Really want to check this out. Also, Project Zero 2 is also getting a modern remake on things like the PlayStation 5, so I wanted to get it before that one came out, and maybe I can play both. I don't know if I'm going to get around to it, but still really happy to add it to the collection. And I'm really interested in Wii horror games as well. I think they have a really unique vibe that wasn't really matched on any other console, and there are actually, surprisingly, quite a lot of horror games for the Wii, and maybe that's something I could try and collect in the future as well. So yeah, really looking forward to checking this one out. Let me know if you've played it down in the comments below. One more thing from the gaming market, I actually got to play the Vectrex Mini. It's basically a mini rendition of the Vectrex with an OLED screen, but they still actually have the overlays on the front, and that's really cool. So I actually went into the event a little bit early and hung out with Chris from Games You Loved, who was exhibiting the Vectrex Mini at the show, and he gave me this t-shirt, he gave me this pen here, which is really cool, and also this hat as well. And the Vectrex Mini is actually available to pre-order right now over on Kickstarter, so I'll put a link in the description. I'm not affiliated or anything, I just think it's a cool project, and you should definitely check it out if you're into the Vectrex and retro gaming. It's really cool that it's coming back, and I love my Vectrex, and I can't wait to get my hands on the mini version as well. So that is it for this pickups episode. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the Vectrex Kickstarter if you're interested. Also, if you want to see more pickups from me, then click the video up here and check out the previous episode, and I'll see you all again very soon. Goodbye.